Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to studentloanjustice.org. This is my name is Alan Collins. I am founder of studentloanjustice.org. If you're new to the group, welcome. We are the oldest, the largest, the first, and the only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. We're fighting for two things in this order. Number one, we're fighting for the return of constitutional bankruptcy rights to student loans. Number two, we're demanding the cancellation of every nickel of federally owned student loans by executive order. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, the federal student loan program is finished. It's dead. It's toast. It needs to be ended and replaced, or maybe even not replaced, but probably it needs to be replaced. But certainly it needs to be ended. The federal student loan program is finished with capital F. And I will prove that to you if you'd like me to. I have a couple of announcements here first. Number one, if you live in Nebraska or you know somebody who does, and they've got debilitating student loans, etc., and they're willing to be interviewed, the largest news network in the entire nation of Switzerland is seeking interviews. I don't know why. They seem like nice people. So if you or someone you know lives in Switzerland, has debilitating student loans and are willing to be interviewed, let me know, and I will forward the Swiss news team to them. This has to do with the Biden student loan cancellation nonsense. So you know. Second announcement. Thanks to everybody who pitched in over the past few days to help us meet our very pressing current financial obligations. So we had to raise like $220 as of Friday. We made it yesterday. So thanks to everybody who did that. You know, this coming week is going to be actually maybe even a bit worse than last week. We're going to have to raise somewhere around $450 this coming week, which is going to be shouldn't be that difficult, but it will be difficult because fundraising for us is fucking always difficult. Pardon my French. So if you want to help us get a jump start on that so I can shut up about it, I would appreciate it greatly. You can see the link to donate below. So there's that. So if you're watching us on Facebook or on Twitter and you have any question, comments, editorial opinions, or otherwise, I would be very happy to read them aloud and rejoin them as is appropriate. If you're a hater and you want to get into a little verbal tussle with me, well, even better, bring it on. We've never done anything but absolutely close down our opposition, both on the bankruptcy question and on the student loan cancellation question. So you want to give it a whirl? Here we are. Bring it on. And hopefully you will learn something. So this coming week is going to be, these are your loans, guys. This is your battle. And right now it's during the so-called quiet times when really most of the important moves are made. The most important policy point I have for you is that we're not going to see any kind of meaningful student loan cancellation, not from Joe Biden, not from whoever the next president is, from any president, any secretary of education. We're not going to see anything meaningful, guys, unless and until we get the constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy returned to us. You know, the bad guys, the collection companies, they want nothing more than to get these loans turned back on, and the constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy remains off the table for us. Student loans are a scam, guys, and the heart of the student loan scam is taking bankruptcy protections away. You know, founding fathers called for bankruptcy rights in the Constitution ahead of the power to declare war and raise an army and create a judiciary and build a post office and coin currency, like before printing money. The Continental Congress, I believe, of 1787 or something, called for uniform bankruptcy laws ahead of the power to all those things that I said. So the founding fathers knew something, and this loan exception to their wisdom, this student loan exception to bankruptcy. Student loans are the only kind of loan in our nation's history to be uniquely stripped of this constitutional right. And I think it proves their wisdom in spades. The student loan scam is exactly the sort of thing that the founders wanted to avoid. So here we are. Many important things in your battle are going on behind the scenes right now, ladies and gentlemen. We need your help. We are nothing more than a band of citizens. Yeah, we've got supposedly 1.4 million members, but that's meaningless unless a significant percentage of those members is helping us fight. You know, a number on a petition or a number on a Facebook group, that is absolutely worthless. Yeah, you've got to do a little more than sign a petition to get student loan justice. You've got to help us fight. We are the pioneers. And we're the only group in the nation that's actually fighting this battle in a way as to actually win this battle. Because the other groups, you don't hear them talking about bankruptcy, do you? I'll let them defend themselves on that. But let me just say, again, as long as the threat of bankruptcy remains gone, we, the people, have got nothing. We'll be begging Joe Biden or the next Secretary of Education forever to do nice things for us. And they will never do nice things for us. You want to make it through income-driven repayment program like IBR or ICR or pay or repay, or maybe the revised repay that they're teasing us with. Guys, you will not make it through the IDR. Statistically speaking, the odds are incredibly tiny that anyone will make it through any of those nonsense income-driven repayment programs unless and until we get the threat of bankruptcy back on our side. You want to see Biden cancel a meaningful amount of loans, or whoever the next president is, etc.? Not going to happen until we get the threat of bankruptcy, the leverage of bankruptcy rights returned to us. Whether you would ever or never file is not important. Just having the right returned to us is of penultimate importance. And I hope you'll remember that. Quite frankly, very few people, maybe even no one, should actually have to file for bankruptcy when we get the right return. But we've got to get that power back. And until that happens, we are naked and afraid and vulnerable and our asses up in the air waiting to be spanked or something. That was crude. Got to get the threat of bankruptcy back, guys. And believe me, our opposition, they want nothing more than for these loans to be turned back on and bankruptcy remains gone from the loans. And that is going to happen at this rate, ladies and gentlemen. The collection industry is drooling at the prospect of a mass default as long as bankruptcy rights remain gone from the loans. All comes down to bankruptcy, guys, whether you would ever or never file. So I hope everybody is doing well out there in the world. We're going to be headed down to the great state of Tennessee on Saturday. We finally were able to raise enough money to replace the SLJ van. I'm very happy to report. So we'll be flying down to Nashville on Saturday, and we'll be driving back up here to northern Wisconsin thereafter. Thanks, by the way, again to everybody who pitched in for that. That was the biggest fundraiser that we've ever done, and I'm glad that we got it done. It's very important. But here's the most important thing that I'll tell you tonight, guys. So how are we going to get bankruptcy returned? Well, that is something that we need Congress for. The president can cancel every nickel of federally owned student loan debt by executive order without congressional approval or appropriation. But we need Congress to get bankruptcy rights back because the Biden administration showed us what they're going to do on bankruptcy last session. And what they're going to do on bankruptcy is nothing. They revised how they treat borrowers in bankruptcy court. That's true. And I can talk about that a little more if you're interested. But I'm here to tell you guys, it's nonsense. The thing that the Biden administration was absolutely and completely meaningless. Congress has got to repeal one line of federal code, 11 U.S. Code 523 A8, A parentheses 8, number 8. That one line of code is what makes student loans treated differently from all other loans in this country in bankruptcy court. Student loans should be treated exactly the same way as all other loans in bankruptcy proceedings. Hey, Joanna says, good evening. I busted my tail for this effort today. I wish others would do the same. Yes, thank you, Joanna. If there's anything that we've learned over the years, when people out there, meaning you, don't do anything and you treat this as an entertainment event, like you sit there and you wait and you watch and you worry and you go, oh, well, these guys are fighting for it, so I can just kick back and do nothing. When you do that, absolutely nothing good happens, and absolutely everything bad happens. We're here on this group. I don't know about the other groups. They're all fucking corrupted. At least most of them are, from what I can tell. If this is a working, fighting group, if you want to be in this group, you got to be helping us fight, period. This is not a watch it happen movement. This is a make it happen struggle. And believe me, guys, our opposition is burning the midnight oil, staying up late, putting a lot of energy into keeping this loan scam going. The lending scam is finished, don't get me wrong, but there's no telling how long it can zombie along for. And again, guys, when they turn these loans back on, and by all appearances, it would seem that they will be turning these loans back on by September 1st, if not before, it's going to be a fucking bloodbath, pardon my French. The collection companies haven't been paid in years. They've been on a very thin federal subsidy for the past 3 years during this repayment pause. They're hungry. They want these loans turned back on. And they are going to come out chomping at the bit when they do that. So if for no other reason, just ask yourself this question. Would you rather these loans be turned back on and we, the people, have at least the constitutionally enshrined threat of bankruptcy in our back pocket to prevent us from being just absolutely wrecked, abused, and wrecked? Would you rather that? Or would you rather they turn the loans back on and we continue to be absolutely vulnerable and without guard, without recourse in the face of what is looking like it's going to be a tornado of collection activities coming from everywhere, the entire student loan swamp. So what would you rather? Well, I'm here to tell you that if you don't do anything to help us fight, we're going to get the bad thing. If you help us fight, if a significant percentage of people on this group help us fight, and the number one, the first best thing that you can do along those lines is very simple, and that is to simply do our daily actions, which we do not quite every day, but we do probably 4 to 5 daily actions a week. And we'll probably go up to 7 here pretty soon. We never sleep, guys. This is a 24/7 battle for us. And we need you in this battle. If you don't fight, if you let yourself get hypnotized by one of the other groups, like, I don't know, Student Debt Crisis, just the most corrupted nonsense group out there, maybe in a tie for worst with like the Young Invincibles. If you think those clowns are fighting for us, I'm telling you, you are wrong. The other groups claiming to be fighting for student borrowers on the internet and elsewhere, they're making too much money off of your ass to actually want to solve this problem. So, you go to Student Debt Crisis and you'll be what that is a honey trap. It's a hunting grounds for vulnerable borrowers where they try and sell you on loan rehabilitation and loan consolidation and loan refinancing and debt coaching and student loan lawyers. Yeah, these people are trying to sell your ass, and they're making money somehow, including probably actually commissions from either consolidating, rehabilitating your loans. That is the student loan swamp, guys. That is the student loan industry. You know, those people are pimping this problem. They don't want to actually solve this problem. We on this group, we can't wait to solve this problem. I can't wait to get this fucking problem solved so I can take this banner behind me and throw it in the fucking garbage and get on with my life. I'm a student loan borrower. I'm a defaulted student loan borrower. And we made a decision many, many years ago that we would never, ever sell out. Never sell out. Not the mission of the group, and definitely not sell out our members to the student loan industry. And that will never change. And we know the right path to get actual, not pretend, student loan justice. So it all starts with bankruptcy, guys. Love it or hate it, that's the fact. And that is exactly and absolutely what we have to fight for hardest. When we get bankruptcy back, the president is going to have to cancel student loans very broadly, very meaningfully, very deeply, maybe even totally. You know, this lending scam is so catastrophically failed, quite frankly. When we get the right of bankruptcy back, in my humble opinion, the best thing to do is simply cancel all of the loans, just every nickel, just end it and start from scratch and replace it with something that is fair, something that is rationally priced, something that's not predatory, and hopefully something that doesn't involve loans or human capital contracts or any fucking terrible, abusive, unconstitutional racket where the point is to make money, not to educate the citizenry. So whatever that winds up looking like, I don't know. That's really the next problem. The current problem is getting student loan justice. And getting student loan justice starts with returning the fundamental right of bankruptcy to student loan borrowers, the right that should have never been taken away in the first place. We've been doing this for 18 years, guys. We've broken news on 60 Minutes and in the Wall Street Journal and many other places, hundreds, probably thousands of other places at this point. We know what we're talking about. And if you're new to the group and you don't know much about student loans other than the fact that you have them and they suck, which is probably 90%, 95% of the people on our group, and who can blame anyone? I mean, student loans should have never become a big deal. But it is a fairly complicated issue because the entire system is just so convoluted and complicated and Byzantine. And that's by design, by the way. They baffle you with bullshit on purpose. But I wouldn't expect that you would know much about student loans being new to the group. But what I would urge you to do is go to our Medium channel, studentloanjustice.medium.com, and just read a few of our most recent articles. I stand by every word in them. I've never had to retract any claims that I've ever made on this topic. The research that we do is top notch, and you can believe it. And you can vet it and verify it for yourself, by the way, typically using nothing more than federally available, completely public data. So, we've got a big fight on our hands, guys, but at the same time, this is a battle that is just incredibly easy to win. When a significant percentage of people step up, as I said before, if even 10% of the people on our group were actually fighting this fight, we'd be done in a matter of months, guys. It's like literally that easy. 10% of the people on our group would be 140,000 people every day retweeting our tweets. And by the way, those daily actions are simple. They're easy. It's like retweet this, retweet that. If 140,000 people a day were retweeting our stuff and like making a phone call here or there, well, we would overwhelm the Twitter accounts of everyone we targeted. We would melt the phone banks of every member of Congress that we decided to come after every day. That would probably make national news. That in itself, like, what is this? 140,000 retweets on this in one day? Like, that never happens. And that will happen. That absolutely will happen when even 10%, not 50%, not most, when only 1 out of 10 of the people on our group do our daily actions. You guys have no idea how strong we should be and could be. But as I said, that is absolutely going to happen, but it will only happen when you sitting there fucking make it happen. Don't be lazy. You're not better than us. Don't think that you can prom queen your way through to your loans getting canceled or whatever you want to see happen with your loans. Whatever you want to see happen with your loans starts with us getting the constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy returned, the leverage of bankruptcy. So if you want to be entertained, then go away, get off this group. We don't want you here. You're bad karma and you're not helping. The other groups out there are happy to sit your ass down, give you some popcorn, and sell your ass down the river. So if you want to pretend to be fighting this fight, well, then go check out the other groups and have fun. But get out of our group because you're bad karma. No, we don't need lazy people on this group, guys. We need fighters. We on this group are the pioneers. And you cannot unhear that, by the way. We're making history here. It was this group that caused the concept of canceling student loans by executive order to even become a thing in the first place with our petition, change.org/cancel student loans. Nobody was talking about canceling student loans by executive order before a seminal Vice News article that we did in August 2019. Nobody was talking about canceling student loans by executive order when we started our petition in March 2020. It was only months and months after that when our petition was exploding, by the way, to like over 500,000 or 600,000 signatures, that Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer finally grabbed the concept and started running with us. But that all started here on this group, guys. And for those of the long timers out there who've been with this group for a few years, I salute you. We are truly the national thought leadership in the fight for student loan justice, the fight to fix student loans in this country. But as I said, guys, at this point, I don't think there's any fixing this failed policy experiment. You just cannot use predatory lending against your own citizens. That's the stuff that revolutions are made of. And we would like to see a clean, quick, smooth, emancipatory, I guess, and economically stimulative outcome to this disaster. We don't want to see civil unrest and strife and riots and suicides and who knows what else. We don't want to see that dystopian ending, guys. We want to be the smooth ending. And if you agree with me, then at a minimum, you will start to do our daily actions every day, I would hope. Or think about it this way, just once a week, go to our daily actions, which you can see at our website, studentloanjustice.org, and do a week's worth. Our daily actions are very quick. It's usually like retweet this, retweet that. It's not a big deal. You would do that and make sure that you did every daily action from here on out. Hopefully for no more than like 9 months or something like that. I would like to get this problem solved before September 1st, guys. And that's doable. That's very easily doable when, as I said, if even 10% of the people on our group were doing the daily actions. So what the fuck are you waiting for? Pardon my French. Anyways, guys, I'm pretty hopeful for this week. You can see what our most recent daily actions were. We're hitting Republicans right now. See any of our past live streams for the past couple weeks, and you can get an idea for why this session Republicans in the House are very important. You can guess. They control the House. It's not rocket science, guys. So we're going to be continuing to hit Republicans really hard. And we've seen some very positive signs. But again, guys, this battle gets much easier when people do our fucking daily actions. Pardon my French. So I think I'm just going to leave it there at that. I'm seeing some good things happen. Hopefully have some good news for you tomorrow. But stay tuned. Things are happening fast around this issue. Whether it looks like it from what you read on the internet or not, this issue is popping big time. Very key things are being decided in Washington, D.C. and elsewhere as we speak. What we do right now, could have a profound influence on how this all goes. So remember that. Maybe the last thing I will say is, again, dudes, I hate fundraising. I really hate to do it. So if you could shut me up and stuff. Oh, yeah, donate right there in the Chiron. If you could please donate, and if we could raise that $400 for next week early, then I can shut up about it for the better part of a week. So I truly hope that you will consider that. This is a very difficult thing to fundraise for obvious reasons. And again, to everybody else who has been helping, I love you. I salute you. And the nation owes you a huge debt of gratitude, I would say. Maybe one last comment from Joanna. Did I read this already? Joanna says, "Good evening. I busted my tail for this effort today, and I believe her. I've seen Joanna on Twitter. I've seen her. In fact, she arranged a key meeting that we had with a key Republican member of Congress last week. What was that, Friday, I believe? Yeah, Joanna's busting her tail, but Joanna can't do your work for you. Joanna cannot carry your load for you. Only you can. And that's the way it's always been. That's the way it is on this group. So it feels good to fight this fight. I think Joanna would agree. I think everybody who I see out there who's been fighting this fight every day would agree with you. It feels good to fight this fight. The founding fathers are on our side, by the way. 43 million people in the country, whether they know about us or not, and they won't know about us until you tell them, they are on our side also. And quite frankly, hundreds of millions of people who are going to follow in our footsteps, or even people who don't have student loans will never have student loans. They should be on our side because, guys, if they can do to other loans what they did to student loans, they will. And that is the road to tyranny. That is the road to national enslavement, in the words of founding father John Adams. So I will see you tomorrow, guys. Good luck. God bless and Godspeed, everyone.